Hey guys, welcome back to another Call of Duty Modern Warfare video, and today we're going to be talking about Friday, March the 27th, 1.180 update, the much anticipated update that we had been waiting for this week. If you're new to the channel or a returning visitor, along with my subscribers, I want to thank all of you guys for your continued support and remind you that if you do follow me on Twitter and on Instagram, you guys can see some daily shorts that I put out for both Battlefield and Call of Duty. Starting it off, guys, we have the new Coalition Operator Talon. That's going to be 2,400 COD points for those eager enough to make that purchase. Then we have the Condor Hideout 24/7 playlist. It was kind of funny because the first post I saw, of course, on Reddit was, "Where is shipment?" We now have the Night Vision Infected multiplayer mode. Infected in the dark, they say here in the notes. So if you guys are into Infected, I'm not the biggest fan of Infected, but nonetheless, now you'll get it in the Night Vision mode. Plunder Blood Money, guaranteed cash drops on kill, so another way to collect money. I'm pretty sure they're trying to do that to encourage shootouts in the game. They've already kind of reduced some of the areas where you can make deposits, but you can actually play Plunder, of course, without even shooting or engaging with anyone whatsoever. So apparently this is probably to incentivize players out there to engage in some sort of firefight. In general fixes, which is kind of a light outline. As a matter of fact, this whole entire update was a lot lighter than I would have anticipated, but apparently if you're using the tactical insertion near the oil derrick on Rust, it was not working correctly, and that has been fixed. Keyboard and mouse individuals, PC players, that would be me. We can now navigate with the arrow keys to change which season we're viewing. And then they did fix a bug with kill cam that would show players that were killed by thermite rather than the underbarrel thermite. Console jockeys might experience a little game stutter after the console has been in rest mode and the instant on setting is enabled. So hopefully the guys have been able to fix that because stuttering can be very annoying. So we have some pretty cool additions to the UI. If a player is using stopping power, then you will see it in orange to denote that they're using it. And also, if a player was using dead silence in the kill cam as well, I think that's going to be kind of a nice feature to know those particular details. Those very irritating and distracting white flashes that players were experiencing after the March 10th update has now been corrected. In the weapons section, we see that there has been an increase to the max travel time for all those crossbow bolt action fans. We go from 3 seconds to 6 seconds for those long distance shots, so something you'll have to calibrate for. There was a correction to the bolt action rechambering after it re-triggered if it was interrupted. And then of course a redundant bolt action rechambering of the weapon has also been fixed when it switches. And they removed inaccurate attachment descriptions from the Solo Zero Night Vision enhancement scope. That's quite a mouthful because they opted with glint, and of course that would reveal your position. I guess they didn't want it to happen while it was in the dark. For all the shoulder rocket fans in perks, Amped has had its speed increased for the Strela P, the Pila, and the Joker. There were some very interesting changes to field upgrades that I wanted to highlight here, and for the most part I have been highlighting throughout the notes. So if you guys do want the point-by-point details, I'll leave a link to the update notes below this video in the published section. But what I do want to point out is in deployable cover, shotguns can now destroy deployable cover with just 3 melee hits. They also added damage stats for vehicle and thermite damage. They did fix a bug with deployable cover in doorways. And EMP drone, now you can use it to start a new round in multiplayer round game modes. And probably the most significant out of this list is stopping power. They doubled the amount of stopping power ammo given to akimbo weapons. For those of us here on PC, we can anticipate that the stun grenades are now going to be less intense. I personally like the stun grenades and find them to be very effective. Also, there have been several fixes to prevent crashes and improved stability. We've been experiencing a lot of problems since the March 10th update, so I'm very encouraged and hope that we will get better performance out of this update. Campaign mode, but more specifically special operations, have had a host of fixes. I mean a lot of fixes to special operations. So I would encourage you guys to check out that link below the video to see them point by point and in detail. Ground war maps, which seem to be a continuing project for the team, has had an issue addressed where if you spawn into a tank, you would fall into the geometry. So yet another little tinkering issue the team is working on when it comes to ground war. Supply boxes in Warzone have now been stocked with some newer additions. That would include the 7.25 shotgun, the MK2 carbine, the EBR-14 marksman rifle, which I enjoy, and the .50 GS handgun. Those pesky players who decide to disconnect during Last Stand will now drop all their items when they leave the game. The team did address that gas mask issue that would interrupt or block your ability to use your parachute. In Plunder, you can no longer stack self-revive kits. I didn't know you could stack them to begin with, but in my tips and tricks for Plunder, I do mention that you could save your teammates time by self-reviving to about 80 or 90%, and if they do give you the revive, then you get to save your kit and use it again. So I'm not sure that's what they mean by stacking. I think that maybe someone found an exploit to be able to actually stack the actual self-revive kits. But nonetheless, you guys can check out my Plunder tips and tricks video up there in the top right-hand corner. Additionally, there was another big list of items that they made changes to in Battle Royale, but the most significant one that I want to highlight here is that they increased the price of loadout drops to 8,500, which got a lot of people's attention in conversation on the Facebook Call of Duty community. But nonetheless, guys, I will, of course, as mentioned before, leave you a link below this video so you guys can see each of the detailed point-by-point changes that they made in this update. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for Thursday, March the 26th, 1.18.0 update notes. I want to thank all of you guys for your continued support. And if you are following on DTube or BitChute, I would encourage you guys to give me a follow there as well, as all of your guys' support is greatly appreciated. And if you are, of course, on YouTube, appearing right there on the screen, that would be the channel icon to subscribe, as well as click notifications. That way you guys will have all the latest information, updates, patch notes, and the latest news out of Call of Duty Modern Warfare.